Okay, very welcome back to another video. Last one got a good few hits there, and thank you very much to all of you who left nice comments. And of course, liked and subscribed. Most important, hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. You'll be notified when we publish new videos, and that'll be a big help to me when you do that. The likes, lads, they push. Basically what it does is everyone who likes it, it more and more bumps up into the recommended page. The more it's recommended, the more hits I get, and that's all for the good. So yeah, here look, I'm taking the hitch off of the 160 and going putting on one of the Ramones. I was lucky enough to get the loan of that hitch for the summer months, because I actually had no hitch at the time. That came, and I need to stick a Dramone on it now and give that hitch back to its owner. Now, moving on from that, we've also got a delivery of some parts just now, actually. Some Steyr parts. That grill and various other bits and pieces are for my own one, the little one we're doing up. You will have seen that. Here's our blower motor. That just came to, I collected that today from a local parts company. And this water pump is to go to a viewer contacted me, and he couldn't really source a water pump for his old Steyr tractor, which we were able to get one for him. And it's a bit of an expensive item, to be fair. It wasn't cheap, unfortunately, but at least we were able to get it, I suppose, because he said it was finding it very hard to source it here. So that's one thing we're able to do. I'm able to source a lot of Steyr stuff. So if anybody is looking, you can reach me on any of the socials on Mr. CVX if you're looking for any weird sort of Steyr stuff that you can't really get in this country. Give me a shout and I should be able to get it for you. So yeah, I'll get stuck back into my hitch. Hello everyone and welcome back. We're here on a Saturday evening. I actually got that light fixed yesterday, thanks be to God, and it's a godsend for this job. So as you can see here, we're into the belly of the CVX. We're just renewing the brakes here on this one. I thought the brakes were quite bad in this, and we had adjusted them in the past, and it didn't seem to make much of a difference to her. So it's time to renew the brakes. So we have our half shaft off, and there are our planetary gears. We have our brake master cylinder off, and now we're going to push off our plate here, and our brake discs will be visible. So we have all our discs out there now, and our intermediate plates. A couple of the intermediate plates are pretty scored, but our discs are actually very good. I'd say they're first day discs as well. I know by that, I got genuine ones, so I'll know by the stampings on them whether they're genuines or not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a bite to eat, and I'm going to soak them in oil while I'm inside eating. So good soak for half an hour, whatever should be enough. Some people say you need to soak them for a day or so, but should be okay, I'd say. So basically we'll have to start inside now, start building our discs way out, intermediate, brake, intermediate, and then we need to shove our actuator back up into the little rubber again and clean out the rubber, put down our brake, our piston, and should be good to go again. Shouldn't take too long to get it all back together. So we have our first intermediate plate in, and now we need to put in a brake disc, and then an intermediate, and then a brake disc, and so on and so forth, until we get to a stage where we need to put in our expander. So I have the old ones laid out. I need to put in another intermediate now, then another disc, and then our expander. Just had these hanging up over a drum there. And now we'll go. So anyone of a certain vintage, definitely older than me, will know what one of these looks like. If you're an old Massey boy or a Ford boy, you will recognize these guys. There we go. So now we have another disc, an expander, a disc, an expander, and a disc. This is our last expander, or intermediate plate, I suppose it should. I've been calling it an expander there, it is an intermediate plate. Getting mixed up in my words. Now, we need to squeeze it all together. Now we're not lining up, but we need to put in our shaft. That should be pretty straightforward, I'd imagine. So I'll show you the process on that there now. So basically, what we had done to remove that plate is we'd ripped all the bolts, and then the end two here are threaded, and I put into 16mm bolts, and we were able to push the blade out to us to get it off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to barely put in 2 studs, and while everything is nice and loose inside there, I'm going to put in my shaft coming out of the diff and get all of that to line up. Now, I suppose really I should have changed the seal around here, but I didn't, because in all honesty I forgot to order one, and I forgot to order this seal as well, but they both look pretty good and they weren't leaking, so I hope we should be okay. So I'm gonna put in my shaft now, put in 2 bolts, get everything to line up, and then put in my shaft. Now I know a lot of viewers watch this for fun, and some people watch it for a bit of education. Now I am not trained in anything like this, so my advice is worth about as much as you paid for it. But the 2 bolts that come out with washers on them go on those 2 places there. Now, everything lined up pretty perfectly. Right, so that's all that done, but now these need to be torqued. So here we have a torque spanner, and probably be able to show you here. So along here you have all these different readings, and basically there's your Newton meter settings. So the book tells us that this needs to be torqued to 80 Newton meter. Now we don't have an 80 Newton meter reading here, we have 84. So I'm bang on the 84. I have my 0 lined up here, and I back it off 4 digits. I go to 8. Am I right in that? Sorry, no. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 13, 14. So I go to 10. Yeah, there we go. So we are on 80 Newton meter now. My torque wrench is locked, and every time I squeeze one of these, this should click when we've reached the specified setting. So you will have heard every single one of them clicking, and now they are set to the manufacturer setting. Now it's time to put some of our mating surfaces back together. So here I have some flange sealer that I'm going to use. This stuff is very annoying, get it out of the bottle. Trick is with this stuff, not to go absolutely crazy, because it just goes everywhere. And it essentially doesn't do its job, it just ends up in around your gears and everything. Creates quite a mess. Pretty much more of the same, more cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and mating surfaces and putting them on, or putting on some flange sealer on them. Now, one last job is to give these bearings, or these gears, a good spin, see if there's any noise out of the bearings. But that one is sound. That one is also sound. And that one is sound. Not a bit of coarseness, no coarse feel to them whatsoever, so they're perfect. They're in their own aisle all the time anyway, so there isn't much fear of them. So now we're ready to stick back together. So back on with our brake cylinder. Very handy thing, no bleeding or nothing. Just stick it all back down. Make sure, we'll give that a good clean out there before we stick it down, and clean all our surfaces here again. So this is where you set your brakes in the CVX. You basically adjust down that nut and lock him, and you need to be very careful, because if you go too far you end up locking on your brakes. So the official line on this is tighten him to 10 Newton meters, then back him off a turn and a half. Now my torque spanner does not go to 10 Newton meters, but I'm just going to go until there's a kind of a bit of a resistance on it. Then I'm going to back it off a small bit. And when the tractor's back together, we're going to take it for a drive and set them that way. So I would say there's a fair bit of resistance now. We will go back round there now. I'll put on another nut, lock him down, and we'll check it all when we're back rolling. So the easy part was pushing in the engine crane. The biggest bother was lining everything up, but to be fair, it went relatively easy. One or two bits of me holding his here and giving it a jolt got the whole lot together. So now I just need to put in all my bolts and set them up as well. Another issue we faced was the bolts on the cab mount, holding the cab to the mount. Two were previously sheared, and the two that were left sheared off the minute I started turning them. So basically I'm under no height restriction at this side. I can't get in here to cut it. I could go with the gas, but I'd make quite a mess. So I've drilled down through the original nut that was welded on here, or the bolt, you know, the threads were sticking up through the other side of it. I've drilled that one and drilled this one right down through the center, and I'm going to do the same on this and the two that are left. And I'll put down a new bolt and weld the new bolt in place. Seems about the easiest solution to me at this present moment, so that's what we're going to do here, and it's slowing down the job a small bit. So I actually got the four of them drilled out, but this one, I was trying to take down the corner of it. I can't quite get at the corner with this little section of metal here, and subsequently then that's throwing the bolt off sideways. So 3 are going to have to do, but 3 are going to be better than the 2 that were already holding it. So we'll get them welded up and we'll get that in place. And once that's all in place, then I'll shorten them, and that will be that. So I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. That job slowed me down a substantial amount, but anyway, what can we do about that? So yeah, that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching the videos. Much appreciated. Please give me your feedback below in the comments. Maybe you know a bit more about this job than I do, and you can tell me a little bit about this if you've done this in the past and how you've succeeded at it or how it's went against you or whatever. Leave your feedback in the comment section below, and don't forget to give the videos a big thumbs up. And we'll chat to you all later.